Now, 2019, this is exciting. Our season's about to start here in a couple of weeks. It's crazy how quickly it's come upon us. Feels like we just finished up our season, but it's exciting. Lots of things going on. So we're going to talk about what's to come. Some of the topics we're going to be discussing tonight. We're going to be talking about the new teams coming on board this upcoming season. We're going to be talking about the D1, D2, and D3 realignment for this season. We're also going to be talking about the rules committee and the new rule changes that will be implemented for this upcoming rule book and this upcoming season. And then we're going to get into our breakout sessions where we're going to be talking about a slew of different things, but all important. So we got 5 new teams officially signed to participate in the 2019 season. While that number may seem low, we do have, you'll see on the next screen, the next 2 preceding screens, quite a bit of interest from other schools joining. But the 5 new teams we do have on board: Creighton University, the University of Houston Downtown, which we're expecting to be a great program, Abilene Christian University, which is also down in the Texas area, or the Gulf Coast area, Millersville University, and Hobart College. Alec?
All right, we got a long question here. It says, our club team went 0-18 last year in our conference versus ASU, SDSU, and GCU. We tried changing conferences to have an easier schedule, but got denied for special reasons. We believe a rule should be in place where a team struggling as bad as we did should be able to compete against different teams. Thoughts?
What team was it? What team are they with?
Does not say.
They were 0-8. Well, I mean, my first thought would be, what was it? Read the question again for me, please. Who are the teams he was competing against?
ASU, SDSU, and GCU.
Yeah, I mean it's a good division you're in. Unfortunately, we don't have a Division III conference or region out that way. I'm assuming this is a Division II team. Our hope, as Division III gets larger and larger and larger, is that we will span the continental United States and we will be able to open up a region in your area, which we can put other teams that might be in your situation where you're not competing, where you are competing, because I do know that going 0-18 is not good for team morale and things like that. But it is our hope, and teams just, we just have to ask for patience that we can open up Division III out in your area. In the meantime, I would just keep plugging away with, just boosting team interest, and those are things we'll be talking about later to try and get those numbers up and hopefully have a competitive roster.
Nicholas Strong asks, what is the minimum amount of teams needed in a region or district for Division III?
We're probably, I would say we need at least 3 teams in a conference, but we need other conferences. So I would say we would need to get at least 6 teams down in that region in order to start a Division III. I know Nick has quite a bit of interest from teams at Houston Downtown. I would say get those 30, I believe it's 33 is the allowable number at Division II. Get those 33 guys on your roster, keep the other guys interested. Maybe they be a JV team to your program. They can still play our teams, but keeping them involved. And, if you're successful at the Division II level, which we expect you to be, Nick, we can get you up to Division I, and all those players that, we didn't have a place for at the Division III level, we can get them into Division II to take your place now that you went to Division I. So I would say, to answer your question, we would need at least 6 or so teams to start a conference. Getting back to new teams for this upcoming season, we have 21 new teams expressing interest in participating in the 2019 season. I'm not going to go through the entire list, but you can see that's a nice number. So we expect a lot of those teams to become teams that are verbally committed, and maybe hopefully teams that officially compete in the NCBA for this upcoming season. Garrett's doing a great job with that, so we're really excited about where we are right now. Now, as far as Division I realignment for this season, these are the types, and realignment at the D1 level and the Division II level is pretty much done, and D3 is kind of solidifying itself as well. At the Division I level, this is the realignment that took place for this upcoming season. In the Gulf Coast, we added Houston Community College from Division II to the East Conference. The Gulf Coast is an area where and especially in Division I, we need teams. And to talk about Nick Strong at Houston Downtown, if you're a team that's competing and goes to regionals, maybe World Series, maybe wins a national championship, we'll be asking you to move up to Division I because it's an area that we do need some teams. Go ahead.
Back to Larry. He is wondering if it is possible for a college to join in the spring and compete in the spring.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you want to join, if you need some time to, get things together, we can certainly try and add you in the spring. It's chances of getting in the spring. It is tougher just because at that point conference schedules will be released. And our protocol is if you join after the conference schedules have been posted, we have to put it to a vote, and it has to be a unanimous vote. All the teams that in the conference that you would be placed in have to admit you to the conference. So it's not easy, but we can certainly get you in if the spring, or try to get you in. If the spring is the earliest that you can, get paperwork in and things like that, we will do our best to get you in. If we can't get you in the spring, we'll have early discount periods of joining and can get you in for the 2019-20 season. Mid-America, we dropped Moorhead and Kansas State down to Division II. And we added South Dakota State from Division II to take Moorhead's place in the North Conference, and Truman State from D2 to take Kansas State's place in the South Conference. So Truman State and South Dakota State, two very good programs at the Division II level that we're excited to get moved up. Moorhead was a team that was struggling at the Division I level and asked to move down, and we were able to give them that permission to move down with the addition of Truman State and South Dakota State to the region. Go ahead, Alec.
Larry wants to know if the NCBA has a summer program.
We do not have a summer program. Our season ends at the end of May, and as far as playing summer ball, I know most of our guys go home and probably play adult league baseball, but no, we do not have any summer programs. In the Mid-Atlantic, we dropped George Washington to Division II and added Longwood University from D2 to take GW's place in the North Conference. We're really excited about that move. In the North Atlantic, we dropped Hofstra to Division II and added St. Joe's to take their place in that East Conference. St. Joe's is a team that has been to several regional tournaments consecutively. I think even made a World Series recently, maybe even this past year. In the South Atlantic, we dropped Vanderbilt from the West Conference to Division II, and we moved Georgia Tech to the East Conference, from the East Conference to the West Conference to take Vanderbilt's place, and we added the University of Tennessee from Division II to the East Conference. And I'll get to you here shortly, Alec. In the Southern Pacific region, we dropped St. Mary's College and the University of San Diego to Division II and added San Jose State from D2 to take St. Mary's place in the North Conference, and San Diego State, who was the Division II national champion from D2 to take the University of San Diego's place in the South Conference. As far as potential realignment that we're still hoping to get to, University of South Florida is a Division II team. They've expressed tremendous interest in moving up to the Division I level. We want to get them into the Division I South Conference in the South Atlantic. The only holdup right now is adding a new team in the Florida area to Division II, which is Florida International University. So hopefully we can make that change here shortly. And then lastly, it's the Northern Pacific region. We're still waiting on a couple LPAs from teams that I've been in contact with, but there's just going to be some small realignment, maybe deleting a team and adding a team to a conference, but very minimal realignment at the NOPAC, in the NOPAC this year.
Larry's got a couple questions here. He was wondering if it was possible for NCBA teams to compete versus other teams in the fall.
Say it again.
He was wondering if NCBA teams could compete against other teams in the fall.
Yes. Yeah. We have a fall season. For teams out west, they're spring only. They can certainly compete in the fall. They won't be counted as NCBA sanctioned games. It's an off-season baseball game in teams out in the California, Nevada area. But yes, teams do compete in the fall, and they can compete against other NCBA teams.
He was also wondering would it be possible to create a summer program in the future, and what it would take to compete versus indie ball teams.
I'd suggest sending us a proposal. We can definitely take a look at it and see what it entails. But, for us, the summer is a time where we're closing out budgets, and, there's a certain things we have to go through in order to close our seasons out. So I'm not exactly sure how it would work. But, again, please send us a proposal, and we can take a look at it and see if it would work. At the Division II level realignment this upcoming season, we moved South Dakota State, Truman State, San Diego State, St. Joe's, Tennessee, San Jose State, Longwood, and Houston Community College from Division I to Division II. I'm really proud of that, and I know a lot of our other employees in the office are really proud of that. There's a culture brewing where teams want to get to the Division I level. That's the carrot in front of their face, so to speak. So we're excited for those teams that are excited about getting to the D1 level. It just shows that teams are working to do whatever they can to get there, and that's a long list of teams. Every single team we reached out to and maybe approached about moving to Division I, they were so thankful for the opportunity to get up to that level. Some teams, at the D1 level, they needed to move down to D2. It was what's best for their program. They weren't competing, and we were talking about that team out in California that was 0-18. We hope at some point we will have a Division III conference out there where we can, move you down to teams at your level. But yeah, we're really excited about our auto promotion, our auto relegation rules in our rule book. They've been working and paying dividends to teams, and that list is great. We love to see those teams that are eager to get to the D1 level. As far as teams moving down from D1 to D2, it's no knock to them. It's what's best for their program, and in some cases, it's what they had to do. Moorhead, San Diego, Hofstra, Vanderbilt, George Washington, Kansas State, St. Mary's all moved from D1 to D2. Our hope is that they succeed. They figure things out. They're competing. More players are coming out. Success breeds interest, and so teams are excited to get out and play, and they compete. And again, they're coming back to us, say we want to move back up to D1. So that's what we're hoping, the culture that we're breeding. So we're excited about it. At the Division III level, Adrian College, New Hampshire, and Newman all moved up from D3 to D2. And again, that's other teams that are just eager to get to the upper level. Adrian College is a team that won the Division III national championship this past year. New Hampshire was the team they were competing against in that national championship game. So these are teams that we're excited about moving up to Division II and hopefully moving up to Division I at some point. Aside from the teams moving in and out of Division II from D1 and D3, 2018 and 2019 featured the fewest moves ever needed with realignment. The reason for that is Division III. Division III, what that did was solidify Division I and especially Division II. In years past, Division II, it was moving all kinds of teams around, whereas Division I, it was just moving a couple pieces here and there. Well, this year with the opening of Division III, we saw Division II was really, really solidified, and it was our quickest realignment meeting ever. So it's showing that Division III is working. We're excited about it. We'll be talking more about Division III here shortly. Go ahead.
Larry asks if there's any age limit for players.
Yes. Well, technically, you have to have enrolled. You have to have been. Before you have to have been enrolled as a full-time student before your 25th birthday. A lot of people think well, I'm 25 years old, I can't play. But if you enrolled as a full-time undergraduate at the age of 23, you are eligible to compete as long as you're within that 6-year window. But yeah, so there is an age limit, but not really. You just have to have enrolled as a full-time student before your 25th birthday. As far as Division 3 district realignment, this being our first year, or just having our first year at D3 this past year. This year, we're excited about some moves as well. We touched on New Hampshire and Newman moving up to Division 2. Colgate, LaSalle moved down from D2 to the North and South conferences respectively, and Seton Hall dropped out, and Millersville was added to the South. In District 2, we moved Adrian to Division 2. They won our first ever Division 3 national championship. And we unfortunately had Toledo Division 3 team drop out of the league. Richmond and American also dropped out. Again, these are programs that, you know, we're just struggling, and hopefully we're keeping in communication with them that we can work their kinks out and get them back into the league for future seasons. In District 4, we have Milwaukee School of Engineering was moved from the South to the North Conference, and DePaul came down from D2 to the South Conference. Still, like I mentioned earlier in the meeting, Division 3, we still have some potential realignment brewing. Hobart will be added to District 2 East once new team paperwork is finalized, which that just happened. So assuming they are now in the District 2 East. Louisville will be added to District 2 West once their new team paperwork is finalized, and more district realignment will be expected as more renewal LPAs are turned in. I'm going to rest my voice for a little bit. I'm going to reintroduce Sandy Sanderson, the president and CEO of the NCBA, to talk about the Rules Committee meeting. He will be discussing the Rules Committee meeting that happened this past month, or July 22nd or July 28th, I believe. So these are really important to pay attention to. These are the rules that will be going into the rule book this upcoming season. So I'll turn this portion over to Sandy.